This is looking to be a very explosive fight. One that you definitely don't want to miss out on.
So what would the result be?
The prediction is will not last 12 rounds, I think.
Papayag ko. Papayag ko.
Nice one, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely.
At the intense first press conference for his upcoming fight, boxing star Manny Pacquiao shook the room with a strong message aimed directly at his rival, Mario Barrios. The 8-division world champion, famous for his quick moves and steady calm, dropped his usual cool and took center stage with a serious warning. As cameras clicked and tension grew, Pacquiao made it clear this fight is more than just a match. It's personal. The mood is set, and if Barrios believed he was up against a past champion, Pacquiao's energy showed that's not true at all.
Okay, how's it going?
All right, good. Everything's good.
All right, so
Thanks so much.
for a long time we talked about Manny Pacquiao coming back to us. For a long time we talked about him fighting. Now it's real, it's happening. Him and Mario Barrios, break it down.
Yeah, Barrios is champion, so it's a good fight.
WBC champ.
Don't count Pacquiao. Everyone's counting Pacquiao out because of his age. It's like a bunch of haters, man. He still has tons of power, tons of speed, and a shitload of experience.
If Manny wins, would it shock you or no?
No.
But it would shock the whole world.
We'll shock the world, but he wins at his age, yeah. I mean, it's not. Listen, he's 45, 46.
Are you leaving jail?
45, 46, but he's not. He's always active. He's always staying active. He's always doing something. Mostly playing basketball, some sort of sport, something cardio. So no, not really.
When Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor, he said, "I'm not surprised." So Manny could say that after he beats Barrios, that he wasn't surprised that he's supposed to win.
Well, Diaz beat. I mean, different Diaz. I like this.
Manny Pacquiao is making a big comeback to boxing after being away for 4 years, creating a lot of excitement. At a recent heated press event, he gave a strong warning to WBC welterweight champ Mario Barrios. The 46-year-old legend, famous for his speed and strength, is ready to take on the 29-year-old Barrios on July 19, 2025, at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas.
It's a very contentious subject, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots and Barrios is not Crawford. And that's why, we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually Pacquiao is a step up, and people were still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benn is Boots, but he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Pacquiao has started training again with his longtime coach, Freddie Roach. Even though some worry about his age and time away from the sport, he has shown signs of his old form during practice. Still, many fans and experts doubt if he can compete at the top level after such a long break. Recent footage from Los Angeles shows Pacquiao speaking with calm confidence, ready to take on any challenge. He talked about the pressure of being a role model and the lessons learned from past losses. His tone was serious but hopeful, and he looked sharp and prepared. In training, he moved quickly, hit pads with speed, and showed the energy of a younger fighter eager to prove himself against Barrios. But the fight hasn't been free from debate. Critics say Pacquiao's age and time away should have kept him from a title shot. The WBC ranking him 5th in the welterweight division has also caused doubt, with some questioning if the ranking is fair and concerned about the risks this fight might bring.
I'm hearing things here. Manny Pacquiao aiming for a shock return to the ring, age 46, Josh.
Yeah, I read something about that, man. It's, that guy's my hero, you know, I named my dog after him and stuff like that, you know, so, but he's touching 50 years old. I think, you know, he should leave it where it is, you know, but, you know, obviously, if you get a chance to share a ring with Manny Pacquiao, nobody's going to say no, you know.
Trainer Greg Hackett was honest about Manny Pacquiao's surprise comeback fight with Mario Barrios. He said if this fight had happened years ago, Pacquiao would have easily beaten Barrios. But things have changed. Hackett explained that the Pacquiao we see now is very different from the fast and powerful fighter who once ruled boxing. At 45, the Filipino star can't be expected to have the same speed, endurance, or fierce drive that made him great. Hackett called this fight more of a money-making event than a true battle between top athletes at their best. To him, it's a show, not a fair fight between equals.
The lick, you know what I mean? But Pacquiao not Pacquiao no more. It's tough to go against him in this situation because if it was some years ago, Pacquiao would beat Barrios. But right now, Barrios, with his momentum, might run and beat Pacquiao up. I mean, not knock him out, but, you know what I mean, beat him on the cards, beat him behind that jab.
Similar to like Ugas, the Ugas fight?
Yeah, like it's a good fight, but it's more of a good fight for Barrios. Pacquiao don't need it, but Pacquiao want to come back, and he want to come back with a bang, so, I mean, why not? If he can make it happen, make it happen. Because I would love, if Barrios was my fighter, I would love to have a Pacquiao on the record. I mean, I would love something like that. And that's a fight you know you got to get ready for.
It's a fight that boxing fans are going to criticize you for.
Yeah.
But the reality is Manny Pacquiao has a diehard fan base that you're going to make money with that fight.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to see other fights at 47. You Stanionis, you Boots, you Brian Norman.
Yeah, but you want to steal as much as he can steal. You know what I mean? Because again, this shit is not forever. Just like anything else, it's going to end. So we want to make some money and we want to do great things.
Former champion Tim Bradley shared similar worries, saying this fight seems more about money than winning glory. Bradley believes that when a fighter returns from retirement, it usually means they need a payday. While the WBC title is at stake, he thinks the real reason is the prize money. Barrios, who is younger and active, is being set up as the new challenger to push Pacquiao to his limits. Bradley even said Barrios has the youth, energy, and skill to possibly defeat Pacquiao, making people wonder if the boxing legend should still be fighting.
Pacquiao getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, you know, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money. One, two. I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring, man, against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, you know, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, you know, bigger fighter, knows how to, you know, control distance very well. Can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, you know, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. You know, that Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically calls him to go back into retirement once again. But again, what they say, the last thing that leaves is the power. If Manny got any of that power still left in him, if he lands that left hand, he can hurt the young gun. So, but that's easier said than done.
On the other hand, Oscar de la Hoya has shown strong support for Manny Pacquiao's return to boxing. He believes that despite being in his mid-40s, Pacquiao still has the heart, drive, and skill to compete with younger fighters like Mario Barrios. De la Hoya praised Pacquiao's incredible career and said a fighter with so much experience should never be counted out. For him, it's not about age, it's about what Pacquiao can still bring to the ring.
I wish him all the best.
Cuadra, I love him.
Can he do it?
Cuadra?
Can he do it? Absolutely. Manny Pacquiao's
Oscar needs.
He's a legend. You know,
some nice ones. Thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think he can do it. Yeah.
Despite the doubts around the fight, Mario Barrios stays calm and confident. Before the match, he said he respects Pacquiao, but isn't scared. Of him, Barrios plans to follow his strategy, using his youth and longer reach to keep the pressure up. He doesn't see this as just a paycheck. It's the biggest moment of his career and a chance to make a name by beating a legend like Pacquiao.
When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
It showed that, combination punchers, that's how Pacquiao, was landing, his punches, combinations. And, it just showed you that, he is a great fighter, but I'm going into this camp, into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan. And I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can.
Boxing analyst Teddy Atlas doubts Mario Barrios' size advantage over Manny Pacquiao. While Barrios is taller and has a longer reach, Atlas points out that Barrios moved up to welterweight after fighting at lighter weights before. Barrios himself said making the 140-pound limit was getting harder, which led to the change. Because of this, Atlas thinks Barrios' size might not be a big advantage in the ring. This means the fight could be closer than some expect, making for a tougher match between the experienced Pacquiao and the younger Barrios. When Pacquiao announced his return, it shocked the boxing world since he retired in 2021 and hasn't fought since.
Not naturally as big a man as those other welterweights. So start there. That's a fair point. He moved up in weight, Barrios. So he's not a naturally big, natural welterweight. And of course, we understand Pacquiao has moved up. My God, I don't even know when he first turned pro. You would have thought maybe he could have been a jockey.
Yeah,
I mean he was
108 pounds, right?
Yeah, jockeys are about 105 pounds, I think, somewhere around that neighborhood. I mean, can you imagine him though going to the whip? He might have killed the horse. That's the only thing. Yeah, you would have had Peter. What is it called? Peter, whatever. Peter. You would have had Peter coming after you. Look what he did to this horse. But look, I love Pacquiao. One of my favorite people. One of my favorite fighters in the whole world. He's moved up from incredible weight. People forget about that. That's why I brought it up. How many weight classes this man has really moved up? Incredible. Just incredible. But now, yeah, Barrios wouldn't be as big as those other guys, but he's still a guy that's confident. He's a guy that's a world champion. He's a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's a guy who's younger, who's active, who I know you can't go by this guy beat this guy, but he could beat that guy, but he could beat this guy, but you can't go by that in my business, in this business, because styles make fights. But you're right. He beat Ugas. You could say Ugas was a little older than when he fought him a little bit, than when Pacquiao fought him, and maybe that made a difference, whatever. But he did take a lot of punishment, Pacquiao, in the Ugas fight.
Mauricio Sulaiman, president of the WBC, confirmed that all approvals are in place for Pacquiao to fight for the welterweight title. There's talk that the fight against Barrios is just a stepping stone for Pacquiao. Many rumors say if Pacquiao beats Barrios, it could lead to a huge fight with Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Fans and experts wonder if Barrios was chosen because he's an easier opponent, giving Pacquiao a chance to gain momentum and build excitement for what might be his final big fight. The thought is, this match isn't the biggest test, but a smart move to prepare for a major career-defining showdown with Davis.
The WBC president Mauricio Suleiman has said Mario Barrios will face Manny Pacquiao this July. That's some crazy shit, bro. That's some crazy news. Manny Pacquiao is 46 years of age. He's making his return to the ring. And he said he wants to go out with a bang. He wants to finish his career as a champion. That's some crazy shit. Manny Pacquiao's professional record currently stands at 62 wins. 39 of those coming via knockout, 8 losses and 2 draws. Manny Pacquiao has one of the most impressive CVs in the sport of boxing. Just take a look at from 09 Ricky Hatton all the way up until here. There's so many names: Timothy Bradley, Manuel Marquez, Shane Mosley, Joshua Cloteley, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, Jesse Vargas. Like, there's so many names on this list. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at Mario Barrios' record. 29 wins, 18 of those coming via knockout, 2 losses and 1 draw on his resume. What do I make of this fight? I don't know, you know. I mean, listen, this is a young man's sport. I asked myself, Manny Pacquiao, why do you want to come back and fight a younger fighter? You know what I mean? Mario Barrios, who is the current champion, the WBC champion. Why? What have you got to prove? You've proven everything throughout your career. So I don't know what to say, but anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and watch a clip of the president of WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, talk about this.
As of now, Mario Barrios is the WBC champion. So who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. He wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
Why does he come out of retirement and get a WBC title shot in his first fight?
Because it's something that WBC has respected. Sugar Ray Leonard was retired 4 years when he requested to fight Marvin Hagler and defeated Hagler. So we do have that provision in the rules. A legendary champion with the credentials such as Manny Pacquiao. He has been medically cleared, licensed by Nevada, so we have voted in favor to allow that fight to happen.
If Pacquiao beats Barrios, a fight with Gervonta Davis could become one of the most talked about matches in recent years. Both are exciting southpaws with huge fan followings, and their clash would grab attention worldwide. Pacquiao's return also brings a strong sense of nostalgia. He's going after the same WBC title that launched his career many years ago. Back then, he won his first world championship at flyweight. Now, he aims to end his career as the WBC welterweight champ. This is a full-circle moment, meaning more than just winning another belt. For Pacquiao, the fight is personal. It's about legacy, yes, but also about reconnecting with his roots. His comeback seems driven as much by emotion and reflection as by the desire to compete.
Boxing Doctor News told Onto Your Gloves, boxing fans, the rumors are true. Manny Pacquiao is stepping back into the ring. At 46 years old, the Filipino legend is taking on WBC welterweight champ Mario Barrios this July. But here's the kicker. Pacquiao's first world title was as a flyweight, and now he wants to retire as the WBC welterweight champ. Talk about a career comeback, but can the Pac-Man turn back time? He hasn't been in top form lately, while Barrios is coming off a tough draw. Will Pacquiao's experience triumph over youth, or is this one fight too far? Either way, July is shaping up to be an explosive month for boxing. Pacquiao's rolling the dice one last time. Will he make history as the oldest welterweight champ ever? Get ready for a showdown that'll have you on the edge of your seat.
Fraudry Youth. Fans and experts are comparing Pacquiao to George Foreman, who famously won a world title again at 46. While it's a rare achievement in boxing, it's not impossible. Many think that if Foreman could do it, then Pacquiao, with his unstoppable energy and legendary reputation, might pull it off too. This fight has become more than just a match. It's about proving that age and doubts can be beaten.
So Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title is being targeted for late July in either San Antonio or Las Vegas on Amazon Prime. And Pacquiao is currently in a Senate campaign in the Philippines in May, but after that he wants to return in the summer for a world title and try to break his own record as the oldest welterweight champion at 46 years old. Now I have every issue in the world with this. You know, Manny Pacquiao, he's my favorite fighter of all time, but this is just not great for boxing. Pacquiao's last fight was 4 years ago in 2021 against Jordanis Ugas, And in that fight, he looked a lot slower, not as explosive, and he got outboxed. And then last year when he was targeting the Barrios fight, he had an exhibition against a kickboxer, Rukia Anpo first, and he looked even slower and even more hittable in that fight. You know, I don't think Pacquiao should be sanctioned to fight a world title fight at 46 years old. And not that Barrios is some scary knockout artist or a pound for pound level talent. You know, if there's one champ at 147 that Pacquiao could upset, it would be Barrios. But in all likelihood, Barrios being the younger, bigger guy, he's just going to beat Manny for 12 rounds, probably stop him late. So I just don't want to see the fight. You know, Pacquiao's accomplished everything in the sport. He really doesn't need another fight at 46.
Manny Pacquiao's return has sparked both excitement and debate in the boxing world. At 46, he's coming back after 4 years away, aiming to win the title that started his legendary career. This fight isn't just about Pacquiao's experience facing Barrios' youth. It also brings up questions about legacy, motivation, and how the sport keeps changing.
Mentioned a lot of people are asking what's going on. Are the rumors true? Is it possibly Spence? Is it Pacquiao? You know, who is Mario Barrios sharing the ring with next?
You know what? He's put himself in a great position through hard work. You know, he's a tremendous story. When he turned pro and what he's been able to accomplish being a two-time world champion. And I always told everybody, you know, he fights all comers. You know, when we fought Gervonta Davis, all my hats off to Gervonta Davis. You know, but it was very difficult for us to make the weight. We were going to move up in weight. They presented us, you know, with this opportunity, and he said, you know what, I'll bite down for it one more time. And then from there, you know, obviously we had a tough loss, but it was a competitive fight. And his first fight at 147 pounds, he goes on and takes on Keith Thurman. No tune-ups, no getting used to the thing. Goes at that point is about as good as you can get in the division and took on that. So he takes on all comers, all challenges. His first world title against Petirov, the Russian, is about as tough as you could have done at the time. And so I think he's earned the right now to be in the biggest, best possible fights. And now it's going to be up to Al Heyman and Louis DeCubas Jr. on what they see is best and fit for his career, whether that's, you know, Pacquiao, Spence, if that's a unification with Boots, Ennis.
Do you think Pacquiao's confidence will lead him to victory? Or is Barrios ready to defend his title and come out on top? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Join the conversation below and share what you think.